appreciate it. And just in the chat, Neeb question, isn't True from South Korea? Why is he playing in the North American qualifier? So True has a visa to live in the USA, and because of his residency visa, he is able to play in the North American WCS circuit events. Welcome to our first semi-final of the WCS NA Challenger. To the top left-hand side of the map, our yellow Protoss player representing Ting. Give it up for Neeb. Qualifying for WCS Leipzig alongside our blue Terran player to the bottom right-hand side, it is MaSa. And of course Scarlet. And True as well, of course, on the other side of the bracket. So a lot of players gathering up and starting to join up into the main tournament now of Leipzig. Really starting to get a solid list of players, and obviously from this point on we're talking about prize money, we're talking about WCS points. So it's $1,600 for first place of this tournament, 200 WCS points. Second place takes home $1,200 and 140 WCS points. Third and fourth place are going to be taking home $800 and 90 WCS points. I believe top 8 have already earned themselves $600 and 60 WCS points. I believe, more or less. Some Dark Ones with the Cheer 1000 in the chat says, hope you had a great day, even though you were casting SC2 Wardy Heart. Of course I had a great day. We're casting StarCraft. Every day that you're casting StarCraft is a great day. Thank you very much, Dark Ones, for the Cheer 1000. The birthday cheer as well. Thank you so much. And see some love of the Jeff Dark Ones, please. And again, thank you those recent subs coming through, especially Mr. QHW. Yeah, I feel bad when I look at when I kind of forget to say thank you for a sub, like during the game, or maybe in the game. I'm like, okay, I'll say thank you after the game, and then I forget and throw it to ads because I just want to get us into the next lobby and figure it out quick. I always feel bad if I forget for too long to say thanks. So thank you again, Mr. Q. Do appreciate. So we are going to be seeing the CC building up on the low ground here. Some Protoss versus Terran in this semi-final number 1, which does guarantee us a, well, with Zerg versus Zerg in our other semi-final, means that we're guaranteed a Zerg versus Protoss or Zerg versus Terran grand final, based on how this goes. Again, we're going to be casting 3 final best of 5s here today, including this one. So this matchup, then the Scarlet versus True series, and then the grand finals. If we survive that long. If we survive that long. That's the tough part, I guess. If you can survive until that stage. See how we're feeling kind of series by series. I think for now we're okay. Maybe if it gets to get too crazy, we'll tap it out. Stalkers actually already picked up a Marine kill here, but then did lose a Stalker in the process. As our build order from MaSa, going to be some Medevac and Hellion action. So Medevac, how many Marines are out just now? There's a few, so probably dropping the Marines, running the Hellions by, but Neeb's already setting up the wall off at the front, something which we've been seeing kind of again and again from Protoss players lately, to be able to kind of defend against those Hellion run-bys a lot more easily, without any issues. A couple Hellions just going to sit right there, and a couple of Stalkers in the main base as well, just patrolling back and forth. The Texan in the chat with the Cheer 500 as well says, thanks for casting my favorite player, Wardy. Go Neeb. Thank you so much for the Cheer 500, Texan. See some more love in the chat, please. People showing love to the stream. 2 Hellions are going to come in with 4 Marines into the main base, so here we go. They're going to bypass the initial Stalkers, and they're going to have to come and start kind of dealing with that in the next couple of moments. You already pulsed probes to kind of fight. Stalkers going to continue fighting away, already getting rid of 1 Hellion, and now those Marines start to take some hits as well. 7 workers down already. Stalker's going to get rid of another Hellion here, and we are going to see at the same time, oh my god, MaSa's actually doing huge amounts of damage here. These Hellions are doing so much despite the wall up and all the other precautions Neeb has taken. It's a huge amount of damage dealt, 20 workers killed. However, this is the rough part of this game for MaSa, because now he's going to be forced to defend against what's going to be a lot of Stalkers, and he doesn't have many units at all, and that's why he's building a tank double bunker. He realizes this counter is probably going to be in progress. There's 2 Stalkers already warping in to push that Liberator away. Does Neeb have a prism? He does not. He only built observers out of his robo so far. We're going to be seeing this bunker could actually still be denied here. That's why extra marines or SUAVs are pulling in towards it. Stalkers are going to maybe go up the ramp. There's a tank there, but if he gets close enough to it, he will just shut it down. And actually, MaSa leaves the door open for those stalkers to come into the main. So here we go. Cat and damage being dealt. Meanwhile, Libera in the main will force another stalker warp in at home. 5 probes lost to the 7 SCVs killed so far. Neeb doesn't have blink or anything on these stalkers. He's going to start building a dark shrine as well. So DT's trying to try and get back into this now. As we are going to be seeing these stalkers continue to do some damage. Marauders continue to pick their way through a few more of those stalkers, and the stalkers will eventually go down here. Again, no blink to the low ground, but 15 workers killed. This Liberator didn't do a lot of damage like it did. I feel as though Neeb would have been actually kind of back into a decent spot, but that Liberator did do quite a lot of damage. I mean, units lost here. I mean, he also did kill a tank, the medevac, the lib, all the Hellions and Marines from before as well. I guess resources lost is going to be fairly even, 2.8 to 2.5. It's actually pretty okay here. 6 worker lead for Neeb. It looks okay for him so far. Dark Shrine coming on through, so again, Neeb will have that kind of follow-up progression now shortly. There's an engineering bay, but no missile turrets just yet. Oh, sorry, I'm completely blind. Missile turret right there. I need a detector for detection, apparently. Let's see that observer now getting pushed away. Is there a scan to finish picking it off? Not just yet. SCV is still mining away in this main base. Starport is starting up another couple of medevacs, so that's starting to come through as MaSa will throw down a pause here for a moment. Seems to have a hotkey issue. Hopefully we can get this resolved, and then we can go back into this first game of what is a best-of-5 semi-final matchup in our WCS NA Challenger matchups here today. After this, Scarlet versus True is our second best-of-5.
Game resumed.
As our game will resume here, Neeb readies up and straight back into this. Concussive shells on the way up right now, +1 weapons about to finish up, and that combat shield still coming through as well. We'll be finishing up over the next few moments, so that's all coming into play. As you do see that +1 armor upgrade being chrono boosted out right now from Neeb as well. So +1 armor being chrono boosted out, the Dark Templar coming forwards, and let's see maybe what's going on. It's going to be seeing the large load up right now. We're going to be seeing the medevacs loading up and going over to the left hand side. So big drop from MaSa over to the left to try and get some more damage done to keep this going. Now Neeb at this stage is going straight in towards charge off the Twilight Council. His army right now is not bad, it's not terrible, but without any kind of gateway-based, Twilight-based upgrades at all, how does Neeb really truly fight against this? It's going to be really difficult. And right now he's obviously very far out of position. As here we go in towards the natural expansion, sorry, the main base. Big drop from MaSa. We're going to see the recall in from Neeb. I mean, obviously the issue is that these medevacs can just lift up and leave whenever things start to go badly. Dark Shrine goes down. Now these Zealots are starting to take some damage, but actually just lifts up and drops to the other side of the force fields. The Zealots are still blocked off there. Now Sentry's going down too, and MaSa looks as though he does have enough to, well, really significantly do a lot of damage here. I mean, that's all of the sentries that just got cleaned up. I mean, that's huge on its own. Those two medevacs going to start pulling back down the left side and over through towards the main. Marines and a Marauder over here as well, doing a little bit more damage. And we are going to see a missile turret from MaSa getting set up towards the top side, pushing towards this base of Neeb. +1 armor upgrade from MaSa as well is going to be finishing up, so he's going to have 1-1 now against just +1. So continue to push MaSa only on 2 bases. Seems as though he might be able to make this happen right here. Pushing on the 2 bases consistently, as you're going to see a scan coming down. That's going to be a killed off observer already. Observer goes down, we are going to see a DT. Well, we'll shut down this missile turret, but I love this turret here. It just means he doesn't have to scan if a DT comes into his army, as he holds this kind of forward location. All said and done, Neeb is actually 14 workers ahead. You got to remember that MaSa is on a 2 base all in right now, and so if MaSa does not manage to end this game soon, he will kind of fall behind. A scan in the main reveals these units are nearby, and so he unloads the medevacs. Maybe he's going to look to push on foot towards the 3rd base. These units might have to come out of the main though to help defend. But Facility's going to be a pretty great target here, and he is going to go down so quickly. Shield Battery gives us Immortal Life for a lot longer than you would think it should. We're still going to see these Zals continue to charge on through. Bio stimming once again. Zal's still in the front line, but another Immortal will go down. A couple of Widow Mines on this low ground too. I think Neeb just has to keep some units in his main base, because if he doesn't, that threat of just a load up and the drop into the main is obviously very, very real. A couple of Widow Mines, and Neeb loses his Zealots to this. Probably could have done that a little bit better, splitting away, but maybe he just wasn't expecting the 2 Widow Mines. So a lot in the main, and Neeb is still up 17 workers. MaSa is 10 army supply ahead, but this army supply advantage is disappearing. And also the fact that we're going to be seeing the Blink about to finish up, the +1 about to finish up. We're going to be seeing the Bio is throwing down a scan in the middle. I mean, it just means that Neeb's army is getting better and better to keep on fighting in all of this. Blink finishes, and now we're going to see those Medivacs going to go towards the main, but with Blink, obviously, the Stalkers are a lot more mobile. It's actually pretty much pure Stalker at the moment. It's actually crazy how many there is at the moment in the main base, though there is this drop, and that's what Neeb has to react to, because he loses a pylon, so he's going to lose a lot of warping potential. He's actually supply blocked as well. His new pylons are getting killed before they can come up here. More pylons coming in towards the top side. A big Blink forwards. 1 Medivac goes down. Now 2 Medivacs go down. We are going to be seeing Widow Mine unburrows, reburrows here. Neeb going to try and bait it with the Stalker shot here, with the Stalker Blink, which he manages to do. Again, losing power to a lot of his production for a few moments, but he cleans up his entire drop and the Medivacs as well. Third CC finally starts massive behind this, but God, it took him a long time to get that. So Zal's going to try and warp in, and Pylon goes down to his right-hand side. Neeb chasing on over, wants to shut down this Bio. Should be able to Blink after this, honestly. There's only Marauders on very low health here. I think that's definitely worthwhile. Blink gets a couple Marauders right away. Zealot's actually going to find this Widow Mine, which goes off. Probably just picked off a Zealot there. Stalkers will try and set off those Widow Mines and Blink back, but then the Widow Mines actually do and burrow. A couple of Zealots going down. Workers going down once again. Another Liberator. Man, the Liberators have been insane this game. Time and time again, just doing so much. Chasing right now, though, we're going to be seeing Neeb with a Blink in a moment, perhaps. He blinks forwards in towards what is a very beat-up army. Medivac's trying to micro, but they're just getting taken down so quickly. And eventually, Neeb is able to take this. GG. Neeb takes game number 1 of this best of 5. Game pause there, as you can hear, is what I was just being quiet for a moment to read this, but basically Neeb, to start the game without asking MaSa if he was ready, instantly paused, realized his mistake, and obviously MaSa was fine with it. And so here we go. To the top right hand side, again, MaSa was just too basic for so long in that game that Neeb eventually was just able to clean him up and was able to make it work, but he really was put under pressure. Let's see if he can make game 2 look a little cleaner. Top right hand side, our yellow Protoss player from Ting, it is Neeb. Surviving through so much pressure there, keeping his cool, making the right decisions to bring him to victory in the end. And that's why you gotta love Neeb as a player. He just has such a style about him actually in his play as well. Like, he doesn't just win easily. You know, sometimes he looks super awesome and convincing, but even when things look scrappy, he makes things look awesome. Does that make sense? Maybe not. I'll just introduce the players instead of trying to give my thoughts, which apparently don't make sense when I try and speak them. To the bottom left-hand side, our blue Terran is MaSa. Game 2 of our best of 5, semi-final number 1 in the WCS NA Challenger. How are you guys all doing in the chat today? We all feeling good? We all having a good time? Hope we're all having a fantastic time so far, and again, hope you're enjoying the games. We had great games all day today. Now, tomorrow I'm not going to be streaming for 16 plus hours like I am today. Tomorrow I'll be going live at 8 PM CET, actually. It's kind of a late one. 8 PM CET, I'm going to be casting just the OSC Championship Group D tomorrow. And on Tuesday, I'm going to have a double cast once again with OSC Championship Playoffs, as well as the Go for SC2 monthly finals in the evening. Wednesday, I'm going to be casting the Yost Star League, which is just a small event on the evening. And then on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, oh my god, are you guys ready? I hope so. We're going to be casting all day for WESG APAC Regional Finals each day of those weekends, and we're going to be casting that back-to-back with the OSC Championship bracket. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be awesome, actually. Warp gate is on the way up here at the moment. Just going to be seeing the CC from MaSa building up. Starport coming through, robot facility coming on up as well. We do just get this set up and rolling so far. Pretty fast. I mean, very fast robo here. We'll see what Neeb does with this. I imagine just like an observer, so maybe some prison play for some harassment, but I mean, there's always that possibility of like a super fast like robo bail. I mean, that would be really crazy, like a robo bay. But like even just like an immortal and making like a one immortal push can be very powerful. It's a possibility. The way this initial kind of rally point is set is just looking to be an observer, wants to get across the map and to see what's going on. As what is going on is a very similar build to the last game. Marine drop with the Hellion run by is what's getting set right now for our Terran players. So, well, I mean, Neeb has the roll off once again. Honestly, the last game though, I mean, 20 workers went down to that Hellion run by based attack, and you know, you can't blame MaSa for thinking, well, hey, let's try that again, because it was very successful the way that it's set up. So definitely can't blame MaSa for thinking to try this once more. As you see, the Marines going to load up with the medevac. It's kind of funny because again, this build kind of became a little bit outdated in some ways very quickly, because people did start to figure out how to defend it. Let's see if Neeb has the answer a little bit more on lockdown this time around. Plus one armor starts from Neeb, so again, he's going to be without the gateway kind of upgrades in terms of blink or charge or glaives for a little while here. Sun coming towards the front. The Stalkers, they have a shield battery to fight here. I don't think the front is the place you want to attack this at all. The Stalkers are even going to be able to chase this away. The thing is, these Marines, obviously not going to be able to run very quickly. The Hellions can, but the Marines really can't. So we're going to be seeing a little bit of back and forth once again. Stalkers, a little bit of something here, a little bit of action. He's still fighting. These Hellions are still coming forwards, but he's just going to lose every single one of them. And this time he's going to lose all of these units without actually being able to do any worker damage. Very nicely done. Nate is in the chat saying, we're all good, fam. Great quality cast. Thanks for the kind words. Glad you're enjoying. Keep on watching. Twilight Council gets placed on here from Neeb as well in the main, so getting ready to go into his next stage. Probably just straight to charge. I just think you kind of need charge right now. Like, there's certain build or certain timing attacks from the Terran that charge just helps so much with. And while blink is still going to be kind of something inevitably you want to go into, I think for now, to not have gone Twilight early, to focus on the upgrades in terms of like the Forge and the Robo, I think you need to go charge first from this. Kind of similar as he went for last game. Like, he went for charge right away. That's kind of just the reasoning behind it. Because if a tank push comes in now and he's going blink, I just don't think the blink really saves him. But the charge can absolutely decimate armies, so there's a couple of tanks sieging up on this natural and observer coming forwards. Just to see what's going on. Stimpack about to finish up here from our Terran player. Combat shields as well. Sentries gathering up over on the right hand side, and we are going to be seeing all gateways just on the way up in the main base here of Neeb. Maybe going to get aggressive. Is he going to push across here? Not just yet. He still has the +2 armor coming through. Hellion is backing away towards this watchtower for the moment or so, and it's going to be seeing the this is a poke out from Neeb, but it's very risky to push out this far. I guess he has energy for a recall if he needs it towards the main or the natural, which is kind of what allows him to maybe push out this far where usually you wouldn't. You do in the meantime see a couple of tanks just loading up into this medevac, and the army of MaSa starts to move on out. Gather up on this right hand side watchtower. Again, a lot of units here from Neeb at the moment. lot of troops gathering up and getting ready to skirmish and fight. These tanks are in the medevac still, so they're not even going to be able to unload properly just yet. Initial darts charging forward. Stalkers going to sacrifice themselves. I mean, in this army, Stalkers are probably the least useful of all units right now. I'm not sure why we still have High Templar. I mean, perhaps he could have... Is he just looking for the feedbacks and then morphing in towards Archons, or did he just think he already had Storm on the way? So I can tell you right now, he definitely doesn't have Storm, unless I'm imagining things, unless I'm really hallucinating. So that is a Storm upgrade being chrono boosted as we speak. Maybe he was just building up the energy for them and just brought them with the army. Maybe he just needs that High Templar auto attack damage, you know, to make sure he can win the fights. Yeah, there's nobody ever. Well, Liberator coming in here right now. MaSa again is playing this 2-base style. No third base behind this. Neeb can be a little bit patient about how he fights it, but obviously doesn't want to let MaSa get too comfortable with the spot. Neeb actually even cancels Storm here to morph from the Archons, realizing that he just needs as much as he can get right now. Actually starts to engage already from the left-hand side. Now he's going to push in from the top two. From 2 angles, Neeb is already just running in to crush this army, it seems. Medevacs are going down, and Neeb pushes MaSa back without much of an issue just yet. He's going to continue pushing forwards. Another medevac will fall. I love this. The Immortal pulls itself to the side to kind of tank the Widowmine shot. Just one unit, wherever he finds it seems just kind of going to be soaking that shot up. This Widowmine goes off on a low health cell, so that's fine too. And the Stalkers clean it up so quickly afterwards, and we're just going to be seen pushing on forwards. Neeb is looking as though he's going to be able to... Well, is he actually going to be able to push on in here? I think he has to be a little bit careful. I mean, no need to push in when there's, again, only 2 bases, but there's a 3rd CC now building in base. Yeah, I mean, it's still such a late 3rd CC. Neeb definitely doesn't have to, like, push up this ramp and win right now or anything, of course. He's maybe just going to go for this anyways, though. The Widowmine shots, a little bit better than they were doing so out on the map. We'll continue to take some fire right here. The Immortals, he actually gets the other 2 Immortals up this ramp and fighting. He will chunk away at those Marauders so quickly and easily. It'll go a long way. Now he does start to get those units up here a little bit better. These gateway units hit like trucks at the moment. Really have been able to kind of just pick away at units so quickly and easily here. It's kind of crazy. Stalkers and Immortal, a couple of sentries coming out in towards the middle of the map. Now Storm will start up here from Neeb. Got himself set up in towards Storm. We see the blink and the +2 attack on the way. Continue to build up in other ways in the game. Continue to set up into other bits and pieces. Medevacs and the Bio coming up the left-hand side, and again we'll want to try and to see what he can do. Observer just sat here. We'll see this army coming. MaSa still, well, I guess 3rd base is now moving into location, but Neeb, 76 probes, the economy is there, and now he's got the High Templars with Storm. The army composition is there as well. You know, this army composition is looking better and better and better. Takes down the rocks. He's going to be able to move through these now. He uses a couple of probes. It's a Widowmine or 2 over in this position. They get cleaned up, but not before taking down a few probes and a Stalker. Talking about Stalkers, in the center of the map, they are leading the charge forwards for the rest of the Protoss army. Already chipping away at some of this. Where are the medevacs, right? I mean, I guess, okay, sure, he just sent one across the map. He's going to lose a full medevac here, MaSa. Full medevac units, as we're just going to be seeing another set of rocks being taken down. And Neeb going to push on through. I mean, I guess the 3rd base isn't over here, it's over there, but even still, that 3rd base isn't even an orbital right now. That's how much MaSa's maybe kind of just preoccupied with other fights on the map. Links away. He needs to be a bit more careful here. Actually loses a High Templar. This Widowmine is doing some damage, but Neeb just does not seem to care. Pressing on forwards, and again, he has the Storms available. And they are landing all over these bio units. Neeb just has way too much. GG from MaSa, and Neeb will take 2-0 lead. And he moves on to match point already here. 3 on Ascension to Iron. Could be our last game of the series already. We're skyrocketing our way through these NA Challenger bracket at the moment. With a ZVZ to follow, it could be a very fast-paced series indeed. A ZVZ between 2 players who are fairly happy to play aggressively too. To the bottom right-hand side, our yellow Protoss player representing Ting. Give it up for Neeb. He is playing against the blue Terran to the top left-hand side of the map, MaSa. Neeb's just looking very good here. Keeps on defending these attacks. Well set up. Dealing with Widow Mines pretty well. Not really letting MaSa do much damage. And I mean, the first game was a little bit scrappy. The second game was a lot smoother. Neeb kind of already just improving from game to game from what we can see so far. So Neeb already improving from game to game, and obviously that's kind of terrifying because he's just so good in the first place. Look at this, the SCV, or the Marine I guess, is and the SCV as well is just really looking around to try and find a proxy in these early stages, really making sure Neeb's not up to something weird, and that's because he didn't scout across the map. So just trying to make sure there's no proxy coming down, and well, we'll see what MaSa wants to end up doing. Right now it's free CC. He's on no gas, of course, so of course it's kind of the only build you can go for, no gas, unless you're going to start building a whole bunch of barracks. And, well, what an interesting build this will be. Sorry, I was cleaning my glasses, which is why I wasn't able to click away. But, what an interesting build this will set us into. I mean, there's going to be a huge amount of economy from MaSa in the early stages, and it's such a change-up from what he's been doing before. It's actually a change-up which can lead him into a similar scenario because it's kind of weird because usually you kind of have like the, you know, what he's been doing is like the very aggressive 2-base pushes, so he gets up to 2-base, he can only pushes. I imagine what he'll do now is obviously it's very different because it's 3-base, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of the idea is still there where he gets up to 3-base and then he just pushes. To the point where maybe, you know, he still is sort of swayed all in with how aggressive he's being. Of course, I mean, he can play it a bit differently with 3 bases. You've got to transition out a lot more easily, and you've got that economy too to kind of tech up a bit more if you would like to as well. So, I guess we'll see how this how it goes for him. Right now, this Nexus just coming on up from Neeb at home already, going to third. Did he just recognize what this is? He doesn't even. I guess he just saw him. Yeah, I don't even know. Like. Second bunker coming up from MaSa in the meantime, and Neeb's just throwing down a third Nexus. Like, that's just how blind MaSa is right now. He's got no idea about what's going on. The lack of a Reaper across the map does not give him any info, and that means he's just completely in the blind. Wow, well, this is going to be a game where both players get up into insane amount of economies and 3 bases very early on. And once you get set up in towards the, you know, the bases on either side, it, that's quite a lot. Wardy, how do you not lose your mind after casting for 12 hours? Seriously? Maybe I did. You just don't know. Maybe you just don't realize it. Maybe just talking about StarCraft keeps me sane. Maybe if I didn't cast for 12 hours, I'd go crazy, you know? Who knows? Fast forward again here from Neeb. He does actually Chrono Boost out an Immortal. Immortal. Again, there's the possibility that he gets aggressive, like a War Prism or so, and sends, you know, a bunch of sentries across the map. I mean, it's weird. It's something we see now and then, like a bit of an Immortal push. I mean, with 3 bases, I guess it isn't something you do, and I guess the Immortal is just sort of a safety thing. Now, remember, Neeb's kind of doing this somewhat blind as well. I'm still not sure myself what he actually saw to kind of trigger this kind of, not even, well, I guess, yeah, greedy play of his own. Very interesting as we do have the starport on the way up in the main. Probably will swap onto the reactor that the factory is building as the extra racks too, so up to the 5 racks, and well, Neeb's already on 60 workers and going into extra gates. He's got the Twilight Council up, or very soon to be up, ready to go in towards charge. Again, I imagine charge first and then there's blink. Just the same as he's been going kind of again and again and again. Why change anything else up? Impact about to finish from MaSa. Hallucinated Phoenix here from Neeb will pick up some info. I mean, he sees the 5 racks set right now. The Observer will see the 3rd CC, and so Neeb will be like, okay, well, you know, if my 3 bases are piece already, fine. That's kind of fine for me. He actually goes Glaives off of the rest of the Twilight. So this is going to be a bit more of an aggressive variant from Neeb. Like, there's no way he doesn't get across the map and attack with glaives finishing up, etc. There's just no way. Like, it just would not make sense. Prism on the way just to reinforce that idea of aggression. With the extra gateways too, there's not really much to wait for. I mean, he'll start +1 attack, but obviously the biggest thing is just resonating glaives. You probably don't want to wait for these extra upgrades. See how it works out is right now MaSa coming in towards the middle of the map here. There's Bio Army coming to see if he can get up to a little bit of something. And well, Neeb not going to really reveal his own army just yet, staying out of range of that watchtower. But maybe the Marine can find this here for MaSa. He's going to see a few Stalkers. Oh, I love this. Just a few Stalkers on, an Adept and a Sentry peeling ahead. So it's, he shows a bit of the army, but not all of it. Obviously, now he's going to show a bit more. He's going to see just as much of these. He's just going to see how many of these Adepts there are. And that's a big deal here from MaSa. Now knowing about the Adepts, and maybe he can start to react to it. A couple of Widow Mines going to be moving a little bit further forwards. And Stim comes in, and a couple of Stalkers will go down. Nice force fields though, and it's actually going to lift up some of those units in medevacs. Now Adepts are going to shade on forwards as Neeb is just going to look and hunt to get on top of the rest of those units. Widow Mine goes down. Widow Mines get the kill on the Warp Prism though, which means no reinforcements, but does that matter? SCVs are currently pulling on in. And that's going to be goodbye, SCVs. Red CC will lift up. Adepts will shade up to the high ground once again. And looks as though he's just going to jump on top of this anyways once more. Reinforcements are shading across the map as Neeb trying to bring his units into this here. Widow Mine goes off on just a single Adept. Obviously, not too bad for him at the end of the day. And Immortals just going to start fighting against a couple of Marauders here and there. They can reach, just fighting against anything really. Immortals picking up a bunch of kills in the back, 7 apiece so far. Neeb's supply is pretty much doubling his opponents right here. MaSa just does not have a way to stay in this. Neeb, a very convincing 3-0 to put him through into the grand finals of this WCS NA Challenger. GG! Neeb goes through to the grand finals. So Neeb, our grand finalists here, we're going to be going into